Hi, mother. Whatever you do, do not move in the wintertime. Your back is going to be blown out. Pause. And you're just not going to have any energy to do anything. Yes, I'm finally going to give my take on this J. Cole and possible Kendrick collab. And not in context of the single that's coming out this Friday on the new Jeezy project called American Dream. That from the snippet of J. Cole, in my opinion, did go off. In light of that situation and in light of the whole collab song that's supposed to be coming out on Jeezy's album this Friday, I'm here to ask the question, like, would a K-Dot in a J. Cole project be a good idea? You know, a lot of people speculate, a lot of people say we don't need it. I personally would say I don't need it. I've waited long enough. The two of them have evolved in their career. They've done a lot. I don't really think they need to do a collab project. But for fans' sake, you know, for people who want to actually listen to two of their favorite artists or two that are highly speculated as, you know, the best in the rap game, I think it would be reasonable for them to, you know, come together on some kind of body of work, some compilation, some project. Anything would be better than not having anything at all. You know what I mean? Which is what they have right now. They got a few singles together, one from J. Cole's Born Center project, and I think the Black Friday remix. And they might have been on another one. That's all I know of. That's all they've been on together. And now we have the new Jeezy album, and they're going to be on American Dream with one another. So it brings up all these questions and all these speculations and all these rumors and all these theories and conspiracies that J. Cole and Kendrick may actually deliver a somewhat entertaining body of work. I know the biggest thing that holds people back in thinking that a J. Cole x Kendrick Lamar album or project or collab would be great is many people think that J. Cole is subpar in comparison to Kendrick Lamar. It's a sentiment that I can empathize with because I don't think that J. Cole lyrically is at the same level that Kendrick is right now. But I do think to ignore J. Cole's growth over the last, I would say, year is a little ignorant, and you'd be biased to just say Kendrick Lamar would completely wash him on every single song. Okay, it's not as easy as just rapping, right? Kendrick Lamar is a better lyricist in my opinion, but when we look at who in my opinion has growth or has shown the growth, it's like watching a genius. You know, Kendrick Lamar is already a genius in his own right, and J. Cole is becoming one in my opinion. Why I don't get the obsession with watching someone who's already a genius or being excited over someone who's already a genius when you could watch a guy become one. Let's not act like J. Cole hasn't delivered some pretty good features this year, like really good. You know, people say his last debut on Logic's Everybody album was a little sleepy. It was exciting for me, you know, because it felt like J. Cole was giving some friendly advice to another rapper, not just as a big brother, but as someone who cares about an industry buddy of theirs. But aside from that, he's delivered really good verses on, in comparison to his own projects, he's delivered very good verses on, you know, Joey Badass's new All-American Badass record. It gave a very powerful interlude on Major Key that came out, you know, last year, of course. I just think to deny J. Cole of his evolution or to deny him of his growth is, you know, it's detrimental. You know, it's detrimental to the perception of J. Cole to the fan base. Not only to the fan base, but even to casual listeners. It's detrimental to ignore his growth. So to say that he wouldn't be on par with Kendrick, I can understand where the fear of that may come from, but I don't think that it's a big enough worry to say that it would break an album. When you look at collab albums in general, there aren't that many great collab albums that have come out over the last, I would say, 5 years. I mean, in my opinion, just within the last year, I think the best collab project that's come out has been from Nick Caution and Kirk Knight on their Nick at Night collab tape. And even that one I was a little bit iffy on. It was okay, you know. Aside from that, people, you know, speculate and wonder, oh, what about Drake and Future? You know, What a Time to Be Alive. Again, just okay. These collab tapes and projects don't work as well as people tend to think they do. I think one of the biggest things that could help a J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar project, and I'm trying to focus more on J. Cole because that seems to be the person that people in the long run are more worried about. I think people, you know, look at J. Cole and they see a stepped down version of Kendrick, or they see a watered down version of Kendrick, or someone who just isn't capable of keeping up or being at the same speed or the same pace. And what I would like to remind people of is that they are in a genre of music that caters to competition. You know, Competition makes people great. Competition makes people fight harder. It makes people work harder. I'm not saying that competition couldn't be perceived the wrong way and then turn into envy, because that's never a good thing. But what I am saying is that competition can drive someone to become the best version of themselves humanly possible. Let's say you're a basketball player, a football player. It's the competition within the sport that keeps you on your tip-top shape. It's the competition within the sport that keeps you going faster and going harder than the guy next to you. It's the competition. If there were nobody else in the room, I'm not doubting that you will work as hard. I'm just saying that you might not see what you have to beat. You might not see or know your limitations if you didn't see someone who was challenging you in front of you. And this isn't to say that J. Cole and Kendrick need to start a rap beef. They need to start going back and forth at each other in the studio. It's nothing like that. It's me saying that the competition could spark growth, even more so for J. Cole. We haven't really seen Kendrick go back at anybody. We've only seen him take subliminals. We haven't really seen J. Cole go at that many people. I think we've only seen J. Cole go at one person, and I'm not even 100% sure of who that person might be. I feel like he's delivered shots to people, but I don't feel like he's dissed anybody hard throttle in a song, and neither has Kendrick. It's not as simple either as just saying I'm a better rapper than you, okay? The rap game acknowledges J. Cole. You know what I mean? You could think Kendrick is ahead of him all you want. The rap game is still acknowledging J. Cole, you know? And so since the rap game is acknowledging J. Cole, Kendrick has to acknowledge J. Cole. Kendrick can't go into the studio with the attitude that he's better than J. Cole. He can't go into a room or walk around freely thinking that J. Cole isn't even on his tail. Because although some of the fans may perceive it as Kendrick is 10 steps ahead of J. Cole, the rap game in general, the numbers, the conversation always includes J. Cole. So Kendrick cannot ignore J. Cole as competition, just like J. Cole obviously can't ignore Kendrick. I feel like people forget that these artists, I'm not going to assume that they're humble, but they are people too. And when you are confronted or challenged, or when you are brought up in the same breath as another person, you do begin to look at yourself like, am I as good as these people are telling me? Am I as good as the people think I am? And then you start comparing yourself to other individuals, you know, not really knowingly either. You just kind of, it's like an automatic kind of trigger when someone brings you up in the same breath as another person. You get an instant comparison. Kendrick's verses are always good for the most part. You know, there really isn't that many bad Kendrick Lamar verses or even bars out there. You know, you'd have to really look and do some cherry picking to find them. I've heard the argument be brought up that J. Cole would need to be twice as good as Kendrick Lamar on a body of work with the two of them together in order for the fans to have that same level of enjoyment. J. Cole would need to be twice as good. And I feel like since J. Cole's lyrics and bars and schemes, as far as a rapper is concerned, are already heavily scrutinized, I feel like if he does deliver something good, I think people would probably acknowledge it a little bit more. I would assume that since J. Cole's good bars are so few and far between to the public, to some of the public, that when they do hear a good bar, they probably shine more light on it. So much to the point where Kendrick is expected to do well, whereas J. Cole isn't expected to do well. So if he is doing well, it's like, that's going to be more shine on him, I would assume. As I've said before, there's a little bit more interest in watching someone grow. Watching J. Cole develop, at least in my opinion, has been one of the most interesting things I've seen in the past few years. Seeing a guy giving the verse that he gave on American Dream, from what I heard, from the guy who was on Born Sinner, is like two totally different people in my opinion. I think J. Cole's last album, after a couple of listens and after my own idiotic hype reaction phase kind of died down, was a less energetic project. There were issues like beat selection being sleepy. And I think prior to that, Cole had announced that he had been going through some issues in the industry. He wasn't as confident. He didn't believe in his capability as much. And he cared a lot about his industry appeal. Once you admit that your confidence or your belief in yourself can waver, we don't really need to hear a project that's dedicated to someone else. We need to see you reaffirm your belief in yourself so that we can believe in you. What's the point of believing somebody they don't believe in themselves, you know? And that's what J. Cole was alluding to on Born Sinner, or at least that's what you can hear within his voice, that he didn't have that confidence within himself. So we needed, you know, For Your Eyes Only to be a project of J. Cole's confidence. We needed him to, you know, step on the neck of the rap game and let them know what's up. you know, and he hadn't done that yet. So we needed a streak of consistency, something at the time that J. Cole lacked and Kendrick Lamar was pioneering. I'm not gonna sit here going back and forth and comparing their lyrics over the past couple albums, because that'd be a really easy cop-out. I mean, Kendrick would easily be ahead of J. Cole, or if J. Cole, you know, people argue J. Cole makes more soulful music, Kendrick Lamar has better lyrics, he doesn't make as catchy songs. I just think these are basic arguments to define these two wholeheartedly by the songs that they've had and not by what they're capable of, and not, you know, judging them based off of their growth. This is how Kendrick Lamar's, you know, perception is in terms of rapping. This is how the perception of his albums are. You have Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and then you got Damn. That's how people look at him now. What J. Cole would need to do in order to, I guess, spark that confidence in him, you know, from the fan base, is to deliver a classic project with his next body of work. When that comes out, I don't know. To solidify himself in that space, after all the growth that he's shown over the past year, he would need to go ahead and deliver a classic project. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be easy. I'm just saying that's what he would need to do to be fully included in that conversation. Right now, like I said, Kendrick can't ignore him because people like him so much. People like his music. People connect to it. People relate to it, you know? But I feel like J. Cole has gone from that person who's just everybody's average ass big brother to a person that is trying to transcend you know, what he originally came into the rap game for. I feel like the more and more J. Cole sticks around in the rap game, the more his value kind of, you know, grows. Now, again, I'm not bringing them up in the same breath lyrically, although I think J. Cole, if he sees his competition, he is going to do better. Like I said, that competition, I feel, will make J. Cole better. From the information I've received and found out about, J. Cole knew Kendrick was going to be on that body of work, on that American Dream single. A collab project between the two, I think people forget that J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar are going to know that each other are on the project, so they're probably going to be in tip-top shape. It's not something where they're like, oh, you know, let's Future and Drake this thing. They're actually going to take their time if they were to do it. And I'd be excited to see what's going to come next, knowing how these two get down. Now, this isn't me saying that, you know, I want a collab project, because at this point, I really don't need one. And if they never gave me one, I would still be okay with that. But if they did, I feel like it would be a little bit better, or go over a little bit better than people originally think. I don't think it's just this dream that you can just, you know, erase off of a chalkboard and has no value to it, or has no justification behind it. But that's just my opinion. It's been Shawn C. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments down below. What do you think about this idea? And do you think they're gonna make some good music together? If they do, leave it in the comment section down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.